and welcome to Smash Writing. As I discussed on Saturday, we still had one more new movie that came out over the weekend, and that would be The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. When I first saw the trailer, I wasn't actually going to go. It looked like a fun little action movie. Maybe I'd catch it on streaming or something. Then about a quarter way through, I saw Alan Richardson in it, who plays Reacher. That was all it took. One sighting of that guy in a movie. I'm like, I'm there. Let's watch it. Let's check it out. And with that said, let's dive in and talk about it, shall we? The movie kicks off the brutal slaughter of a bunch of Nazi seamen and the destruction of the main vessel that they came on. And then we jump back a few days and we get an explanation from Churchill about what's going on at the moment. What's going on at the moment is they're having problems with the U-boats. They're cutting off American supply ships and everything from the U.S. to England. So Churchill comes up with the idea that they're going to cut off the supplies from the U-boats to the suppliers. So without supplies, the U-boats will have to leave, and that'll open up the Atlantic for the U.S. to come in. But the supply ship for the U-boats is currently in a place called Fernando Pao, which is Spanish waters, and Spain is neutral. So if they get caught attacking the ship, they will have all of Europe coming after them, and they know they can't survive that. So the mission has to be off books, which is bad because if the group is caught by either side, they're going to go to jail or they're going to die, depending on which side picks them up. But they come up with the perfect guy. Gus Marshall Phillips is the guy they bring in. And they bring him in to meet with the brigadier. And I only heard his name 15,000 times from the ads. Ian Fleming. And they bring him in and they sit him down and they talk to him and they go, we need you to go sink these ships. And these two, Margaret and Heron, are on the inside. Heron runs an illegal casino. And Margaret is a spy who sings and performs, and she'll be distracting one of the captains down there. And pretty much their job is to keep them up to date on the intel, make sure everything is running smoothly on the ground, and that'll be that. They sink the ship, they sink the tugboats, they get out. Everything good to go. But Gus wants his own hand-chosen people on his team. Which is a problem because one of them has been captured by the Nazi soldiers already. But he's not going to take no, so him and his team take a little detour to go pick him up in bloody, brutal way possible as they take the base down themselves. But now it's time for them to start sailing, and Margaret and Heron arrive to Fernando Pao, and we meet the big bad captain there, Lur, I believe that's how you pronounce that name. Might be off. Me and names. Forever rivalry. And he is particular brutal monster. And the bigger problem is that they thought there are more soldiers than expected, and they're not leaving in 15 days, they're leaving in 12. They relay it to Gus, who's already sailing down, and they predicted 15 days. Because they were going to sail wide of everything. But at 12 days, they now have to take a deeper cut, which is going to put them between British British ships and Nazi U-boats. But they don't have much of a choice, so tighter directions they go. One Churchill speech and one rather unfortunate incident where they get caught between U-boats and the British later. We are now 2 days from the dock from Fernando Pao. And they meet up with a local militia that Heron and Margaret acquire for them. And they decide that Heron's going to be throwing a party. One party for the officers, one party for the soldiers. And Margaret he will plant a bomb, which will detonate the lights and blow the lights off at the port, allowing them to get in and blow up the ship. It's called the Duchess. I'm probably pronouncing it. I believe it's the Duchess. We're going to call it the Duchess. And Margaret will have seduce the captain and get him to the party as well, so he's taken care of there. which is a problem because he doesn't really want to go to this party at all. He much rather have her alone with what he calls a Nazi party, which I'm sure is delightful as that sounds. But she does manage to get him to the party. Except that's when the problems start to build up. And they're first at the party and everything, they learn that the Duchess has been uh, reinforced even more, and it's not sinkable. So they're not going to be able to blow up that ship. And even worse, though, on the Brigadeer side of this, they have a mole, and they've been relaying it to the top brass of the military, who want to take Hitler's treaty and not really surrender but give in. And this is just the avenue they need to oust Churchill because he's working off the books. But they throw him out, and Gus and the crew are not leaving. They are in it for the big kill. And they decide that since they can't sink it, they will steal it. So they go in, they plant charges and explosives on the S-boats, they take out the men around the port, and everything is starting to look really good on their end. Larson is mowing down people with axes and shivs and his bow, and you have Gus and everyone else just walking around, walking measly about, just boom, 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 gunfire, just like it's nothing. Wonderful time had by all. But the problem is, since Heron had to go and warn them, Margaret has been left alone, and she slips up on her dialect, exposing her as a Jew, and ends up captured by Lur. But before he can do anything to her, one of the explosives at the fuel reservoir goes up a little bit early. And it alerts the soldiers and everyone that their ship is leaving. And try as they might, they're unsuccessful to stop the ship. Despite one of the Gus's men does get clipped by a bullet, but he looks like he'll be fine. And it makes it out to sea. Margaret plugs Laura in the head with a gun she was kept holstered. And Heron takes out the other two guys with her, so they're able to get to a patrol boat and rendezvous up with Gus. And they take the ship out to sea and they give it to the British Navy, who then arrests everyone for disobeying direct orders and not being official here. So they're arrested and housed in a jail cell for 4 months when Churchill pays them a visit. And he's brought a bountiful feast, and the direct orders are, you now answer to me. You're my personal squad. And then it cuts to black, and we get a nice little touch up of all of them and what they did after and how they were honored for this assault. I believe it was called the Operation Postmaster, how they were all awarded for their bravery and their actions during Operation Postmaster. And that is the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Let's talk about the main reason I wanted to watch this. Alan Ritchson was so much fun in this movie. This is why I don't film during the day. Normally I film late at night, but some dumbass forgot to turn the microphone on last night when he recorded all these videos. Anyway, back to topic. Alan Ritchson's one I wanted to see the most, and he got so much time to shine. He was so much fun to watch in this movie, just taking out waves of people as he went, and it was so much fun to watch him. And I'm actually so happy for him that he's finally starting to take off, and Reacher has propelled him forward in his career, it seems. And I'm really happy for that, because he's a really good actor. You could tell everyone involved had a great time, and everyone all the cast and crew were having a great time working on this movie. Henry Cavill especially, you can tell that guy had a blast on the set, and him too. Everyone really was a lot of fun to watch. But him especially, he seemed to really have a blast. Elsa Gonzalez and Babs Alusan Mukun, who played Heron, were those two. The chemistry between them, the way they bantered back and forth. Like, I was having such a good time with Gus and crew, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, I want to go back and see what these two are doing, and that's a really big thing to do in a movie like this, because you know that the soldiers are going to be having all the fun, the bloody kills, and all of that, but to actually make you care about these two who are doing the surveillance and the espionage stuff. Like I want to see them too, and that they worked a perfect balance between the two groups of people. And then this is advertised as true events and everything, and you do have Hollywood glowing it up some, pumping up some things, making things look better, and stretching that truth a bit here and a bit there. And I'm not really going to go into the true story. That's not really what I do here. I just talk about the movie that's been given to me. But from what I've been able to tell and what I've read about it, they kept enough things historically accurate in ways to make going back and reading what actually happened still a pretty fun thing, and it's still a pretty big event during the war and everything. And they didn't outdo themselves with that. At least from my perspective. I'm not much of a historian. I just read a little bit. It was not offensive to me what they did here, is what I'm trying to say. And then, like I said, the action, smooth. But there was a bit of a con with that. At times it could be hard to track, especially whenever you were on the ship getting away, and you had everyone firing on the ship and explosions going off here and there. And after a while, the camera motions and tracking, you kind of just get lost. And in a way, it's like, who just got shot? I don't know. Well, whatever. I think it could have been smoothed out a bit there or slowed down just a little bit to help you keep track of what's happening. That's nothing really too major, though. All around, though, I had a fun time with Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Solid, about 2 hour movie. Plenty of action. You have plenty of spy stuff. I know that this movie is what these people in real life is what inspired Ian Fleming to make the James Bond stuff, which is, that's really cool. I kind of hate him right now, though, because we're in the bad era of James Bond, in my opinion. But I know that soon we will be to the glory land that is Pierce Brosnan, and that's when the fun stuff starts happening. That's a conversation for another day. I won't down that too much here. Oh no, I'm going to give it a strong B plus. I think you should go check it out, whether or not it's at the theater or whenever it comes out to DVD, streaming. Go pick up the DVD. DVDs are much better. And well, B plus, fair enough, great for me. And with that said, have a good day, evening, afternoon, night, and go. Bye bye.